It was a quiet night in 1932. Charles Lindbergh, America's most famous aviator, returned home after a long flight. His 20-month-old son, Charles Jr., slept peacefully in his crib. But by morning, the unimaginable had happened. The baby was gone. A single, chilling ransom note remained. This would become the most infamous crime in American history, forever known as the crime of the century. When the household realized Charles Jr. was missing, panic swept through the Lindbergh home. The ransom note demanded $50,000, an enormous sum in 1932, and warned that contacting authorities could endanger the child. The nation was horrified. Newspapers splashed the story across front pages. Millions of Americans watched in shock, glued to the unfolding tragedy. The FBI, barely a decade old, immediately became involved. For them, this was not just another case. It was a defining moment. The pressure was immense. The country's eyes were on them. Scoured the Lindbergh home for clues. Every corner, every object was carefully examined. Fingerprints, footprints, and even the ladder left behind were collected for analysis. Investigators interviewed neighbors, searched nearby forests, and examined suspicious activity across the city. But the trail was cold. Days turned into weeks with no sign of the missing child. Meanwhile, the public was desperate for answers. Rumors swirled. Everyone had a theory. Some claimed the kidnapper was an insider. Others thought it was a professional criminal. The tension in the air was palpable. Scene 4. Following instructions from the kidnappers, the Lindberghs delivered the ransom. The payment was made with the hope that it would bring their son back safely. But tragedy struck. Days later, Charles Jr.'s body was discovered just a few miles from the family home. The child had been killed, and the nation was in shock. The FBI intensified the search for the killer. Public outrage grew. This wasn't just a crime. It was a horror story that gripped an entire country. The breakthrough came from tracing the ransom money. Some bills began surfacing in banks, shops, and pawn shops. Meticulous tracking led investigators to a man named Bruno Hauptmann, a German immigrant living in New York. But the FBI needed concrete proof before they could make an arrest. The ladder found at the crime scene became another crucial piece of evidence. Forensic experts traced the wood to Hauptmann's home. Handwriting experts compared the ransom note to samples from Hauptmann and found striking similarities. The evidence was mounting. In 1934, Bruno Hauptmann was arrested. The evidence against him seemed overwhelming. FBI agents had traced the money, linked the ladder, and confirmed handwriting matches. The case that had gripped the nation was finally moving toward resolution. The public followed every detail. Radios broadcast updates, newspapers printed photographs, and America waited for justice. Scene 7. Hauptmann's trial was dubbed the trial of the century. Courtrooms were packed. Journalists reported every twist. The evidence presented was shocking. Ransom bills found in Hauptmann's possession, wood from the ladder matched his home, and handwriting experts testified about the ransom note. Despite Hauptmann's insistence on innocence, the jury was convinced. After hours of deliberation, he was found guilty of kidnapping and murder. For many Americans, it was a moment of closure in a story that had captured the entire nation's heart. In 1936, Bruno Hauptmann was executed. The Lindbergh family mourned the loss of their child, and the nation collectively grieved. But the case also changed America forever. Federal laws were strengthened to allow the FBI to handle kidnappings across state lines, ensuring that no similar case could go unsolved so easily again. The crime of the century became a turning point in law enforcement history, showing the power of forensic science, meticulous investigation, and relentless determination. Even today, the Lindbergh kidnapping remains one of the most famous crimes in American history. Some believe Hauptmann acted alone. Others think he may have had accomplices. For true crime enthusiasts, it's a story of suspense, tragedy, and the tireless pursuit of justice. It reminds us that even the darkest crimes can be solved through patience, science, and determination. The Lindbergh case isn't just history. It's a lesson in justice, investigation, and the relentless human spirit. Scene 10. What do you think? Was Hauptmann really acting alone? Or could someone else have been involved in this chilling crime? Comment your theories below. If you want more gripping true crime stories, solved by the FBI, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. The world of crime, mystery, and investigation is waiting for you.